Huh?
It's pretty painless.
They can be.
Yeah.
I tell you, I thought that one with Snyder was going to backfire.
Were we on Tom's show?
Yeah. And but he called the night before and he said, "What don't you want to talk about?" Because he breaks the Grateful Dead over the cold.
Yeah.
He went right to Owsley.
One of the funniest things I saw was Lennon when he did Lennon on the show. That was just a hoot, you know. John Lennon and Tom Snyder. It was like,
Oh, I
he
missed
put
that.
them through changes. It's quite.
He actually wasn't hip to us, and actually really enjoyed the music.
Yeah, he was genuinely, a fan of the music, but the personal shit he didn't care about, right? Yeah, well, there's a lot to be said for what you're about to do, and we were going to dub you the fishing musician yesterday if you'd have shown up, and we need a fish story. I hear the legend of like 43 lifetime sailfish, or where did you pick? I mean, I know you're from Florida. Tell us about fishing here before we get into music.
I fished down Almarada. It's the third key from Miami, and in West Palm they have tournaments there. There's a spawning ground, like Jupiter, Florida, down to like Boca Raton.
Yeah.
I mean, to maybe a little past there.
So always deep sea. I mean, that's the you'd like to go. You don't like to mess around with mullet and snapper and grouper. You like
yeah. I live around the bay, and I go out there, and just like in the backyard, you have the Sarasota Bay, and catch big redfish out there, like mangrove snapper. It's just more fun, fighting one, standing up,
What's that like? I mean, many people that are going to see this, I mean, have never wrestled with a big fish. I mean, I've dealt with 20-pounders that I thought were going to put me away. I mean, what the hell's, what's that like? You cramp up?
It's a kick, man. I mean, it really is. It's, first of all, like a sailfish, if you give him like 1.5 inches of slack, he'll wrap around his nose, jerk his head, and snap it, and you'll pull back something that looks like the end of a spiral notebook. So you got to crank down on him, and he jumps, and they don't fight like marlin. They're nowhere near the size, but they swim sideways in the water. I mean, it is. It's really fun. You put on a thing called a belly gimbal. It's
I'm sure.
a piece of wood right here. You stand and lock your knees against the boat. This is the first year I haven't gotten out there to the tournament. I was much busier in it.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute. Out of the 43 that you caught, though, was there ever one of them that you thought you weren't going to be able to bring it in because, you just thought it was going to beat you? I mean, did you ever walk away and say, you bring him in to the next guy next to you or something?
Yeah, I caught one in Almarada last year, and my line was out like 60 yards, and the captain was giving me no slack at all, And that's the fun of it, you get a captain that's not going to have a first mate always on you,
Yeah.
Like most of them think, well, this musician,
Yeah, right. We got to.
what you end up with the hook on, and he kept taking it out, and I mean, you reel in and it just goes out. You can't tighten the drag, you
Snap you right off.
And then you get that whole fight done, and you think, oh, if I get him right up to the boat and he gets away, that's when it really gets
the worst. Once you see him up close and personal, you'll want him.
Yeah, and you don't kill him unless you are going to mount him. That's really.
How many have you mounted out of the 43 that you caught?
About 4.
Yeah.
I caught on the same trip. I caught a 206-pound hammerhead shark, and he almost pulled me in there with him.
I bet.
There were when the captain sits up there, and he always looks down the water, it's like black, and he'll say, "Well, you got a barracuda." Or, I've never understood that. Well, you got a pompano, you got a cobia. I mean, there's no way. I mean, the thing might be 20 yards out.
I know.
But he didn't say anything. And what had happened was I had these 2 8/0 hooks that are about like this, and this hammerhead had swam by, and his dorsal fin, both of them went through his dorsal fin, which is like a piece of leather about that thick. And he didn't know he was hooked. And he heard the engines back down the boat, and he took like a 110-foot dive fast. And they were just pulling the strap up behind me. My attorney was on board with me. And here I went, you know, and there's a big bait box on the back of the boat there. I had a bruise about this big on my leg.
God.
I really wanted to kill him then. And my attorney grabbed me around the neck, so I was choking here and had a hole here.
Oh my God.
And you're always wondering about where the pole might come out of the gimbal, and oh,
A million ways to get hurt with that.
many ways. But I got him in. He hit the only see, the sport of catching sailfish, you use 20-pound test line.
Yeah.
We had one pole on board that had steel line on it. It was like 90 pounds. I fought him for about an hour and 15 minutes. It took 3 gaffs to get it. He was 7'4", just as long as Abdul-Jabbar.
Right.
But I love basketball. Yeah.
Well, talking later, John will sit down and I'll take over on camera. We'll talk about basketball. This kid, we could sell this to to ESPN or something. Gregg Allman on sports. I was on the radio this morning. I do a weekend thing, and someone called, and they got away before I get the details. And they said they saw you at a nightclub last night. Did you go out to a club and get on stage with a band?
Yes, I did it. I don't do it lately. I don't do it as much as I used to. And sure enough, I got royally hassled by some person who was just in another universe. I have an infection in my right eardrum, and I drove my car down here. And when I first got in my car, I had a little feet tape on. I had cranked up a little bit, and I hit the ignition. And that bass had, man, it about knocked my head off. So I went out there to play last night to see if today was going to be very painful. It was all right.
It was all right. What'd you play? What'd you sing?
Played guitar, and the band leader was this beautiful young lady. I mean, she looked like she should have been an RN or a school teacher, and she's playing this Rhodes and singing blues. I mean, you know, really, she had her hair on in a bun, you know.
No.
It was a trip. So I just didn't want to, you know, in case she might have really been like Professor Longhair, I didn't want to get up there and play the piano. You know? Yeah.
Dr. John in disguise or something.
It was a horn band, and so.
What club was it? Do you know?
A place called Monty's. Real classy place.
No kidding. Yeah.
We played we did just a couple of blues songs. One Way Out, we did Stormy Monday Blues. She knew them all. She was great.
What was the crowd reaction? I mean, she said.
Oh, it was really good. I mean, they had like this psychedelic dance floor and everything. Everybody stopped all that, and they cut off all that. And it was, you know, everybody got up out of their tables, and they weren't going to let me in at first because I didn't have a tie on.
Oh, that's right. Monty's is.
I had to show my ID. No, it's because I didn't have a collar on my shirt. I don't like a football jersey.
Yeah, but they overlook that and let you in. Geez. They'll have that in the press, you know, that Gregg Allman frequently stops by to jam here at Monty's, and
be sure to have a tie with him.
Be sure to wear a tie, right? He'll be looking for it. Do you find that your hair being long still amidst all the shortness, does that get in your way? Because it doesn't seem that you like to be identified all the time. Do you have problems with that? Do you tuck it up? I mean, it wouldn't take but 2 seconds for anybody to know who you are.
I've tried a number of different things, and even to nose glasses that Charlie Daniels had. That worked. But no, I didn't quite have the. I didn't carry that one through, but I don't like the feeling of thinking that you'd have to put on a disguise to go out of the house. and because I don't like the idea of cutting my hair, and it does bother me sometimes. I find now that that since like the mid-'70s, not near as many people have real long hair, and it's like a new generation. They look at you like, wow, man, how you fix for blades, you know? Well, I mean, if I wasn't a musician, I'm sure I would get all kinds of.
You'd get, you know, they narrow you in. You don't have to deal with the flack that comes with that, and that's.
They peg you as some kind of religious something. You know? Kind of like you're with some occult thing.
Isn't it funny how times have changed? God, well, tell me, we were talking before we rolled tape here about this band you've been working on for how long, and how do you feel about now that it's together and you're hitting the road?
Well, it's a little over a month shy of 1 year that I've been putting this band together, and myself and Danny Toller and his brother Frankie Toller put the band together, and it's now completed. And in putting it together, we went through about a little over 20 people, and we searched for some of them, and some of them just found us, like the horn players did. We played in Athens, Georgia, not too long ago, about 3 months ago. And my agent told me, he says, there's these two guys from Macon, Georgia. Right away, I didn't want to hear it.
Right, I know that
they
place.
play horns, and they wanted to come over to Athens and just sit in, you know. So I didn't really pay attention to it that much. You know, I like to sit in with other bands, and you know, I love to have people sit in and play. So we get to the gig, and the first song we're going to play was Dreams. And I got ready to count it off, and I looked over stage left, and there they were. They had their music set up and everything. And I went, wow. I wondered if they know what song we're going to play. Surely they do. So I asked Bruce Wabel, my rhythm guitar player, I said, why don't you tell them to wait on the next song? You know, that song, "Oh Sweet Feeling." And so they walked off, you know, and they came back on, and they stayed on for the rest of the night. I mean, these guys gave me an offer that I couldn't refuse. I had to hire them, and I did hire them around the spot. They're incredible.
Right from Dreams. You'd never had horns playing with you in any of your bands.
Now they play horns on Dreams. And both of them play electric horns, and they run through synthesizers. And it's not a real severe synthesizer thing, you know. It's more like textures, you know.